Did you know that in the original Dungeons and Dragons, you couldn't even start as a bard? Like, you couldn't just make one. In first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, the bard wasn't a starting class at all. You actually had to earn it. You had to start as a fighter first and then get to level 5, and then switch to thief and then get to level 5, and then switch to druid and study under them until they recognized you as ready. Only then, after all of that, could you become a bard. Think about what the designers are saying. A bard isn't someone who decided to be a bard. A bard is someone who has already lived multiple lives, has a lot of experience. They fought, they adapted, they survived, and then figured out that everything that they had been through, all of it, could be used to help the people around them moving forward. Does that sound like you or anyone you know? My name is Doc. Welcome to the Guiding Lantern. Let me tell you who the bard actually is, because I think you might recognize yourself. Okay, so the bard gets dismissed constantly. Every table has done it. Someone brings a bard and people go, okay, great, that'll be fun, like it's a decoration of some sort. But that is so wrong. Look at where the class actually comes from in the lore. The bard historically draws from two ancient traditions that very few people have actually heard of. First are the Celtic Fili. These were poet scholars of ancient Ireland. And I don't mean poet like someone writing in a journal. I mean, these people were well respected and honestly feared. So feared that a Fili could shame a king with a single satirical poem. They were keepers of the law, of history, of genealogy. An entire civilization trusted them to carry its memory forward. And then there were the Norse Skalds. These were warrior poets that traveled with Viking chiefs, composing and performing verses that preserved the deeds of heroes for generations. These people weren't standing in the back of a room. They were trusted with the story of an entire people. That's the DNA that the bard carries into D&D. Chronicler, lore keeper, the one who knows something about everything because they've been everywhere and paid attention the entire time. And there's a mechanic that bards have now that is often treated as a weakness, and it's called Jack of all trades. They get a half proficiency bonus on every skill check, even without training. The bard is literally, mechanically designed to be useful in any situation. It's not some sort of flaw. It's the point. So you need to stop apologizing for knowing a little bit about everything. In most leadership situations, most real ones, the messy, unpredictable ones, the person who can read the room, adapt the plan, speak 5 different languages of influence, that person is indispensable. The bard was built this way on purpose, and so were you. The bard's most powerful tool, the thing that makes all that range actually useful to the people around them, is something that the game calls Bardic Inspiration. And once you understand what Bardic Inspiration actually does, you're never going to look at encouragement the same way. Bardic Inspiration is the bard's signature ability. You speak words of creation, you sing, you perform, and it supernaturally makes someone else more capable of doing the thing in front of them. You're giving them a die, a literal bonus that they can add to their next roll. You are mechanically increasing what is possible for someone else. That's really incredible when you think about it. And here's the detail that a lot of people miss. Bardic Inspiration, if you play a bard, you know is finite. You have a limited number of uses and you only get them back when you rest. And here's what happens at a lot of tables. The bard holds the dice. They're waiting for the perfect moment, the high stakes encounter, the person who really needs it, the situation that finally feels worthy of their best encouragement. And while they're waiting, the party's going into every single encounter slightly under-resourced, slightly less capable than they could be, because the bard is protecting something that was only ever meant to be given away. And here's what it actually costs. Every unused inspiration die is a moment someone didn't know that they were capable of something. A roll they failed that they might have made. A door they didn't even try because nobody told them that they could even open it. The bard who hoards isn't being careful, they're being absent. And the people around them feel that even when they can't name it. The encouragement that you're saving for the right moment, this is the right moment. The person in front of you right now in your life is the right person. The dice do not refill until you rest. This is true, but sitting on the table, they do absolutely nothing. Spend them. I know this because I've caught myself hoarding and it showed up somewhere I didn't expect. Here's the thing about Bardic Inspiration that the mechanic doesn't fully capture. It's not really about the words. It's not really about the performance. The official description says you inspire through words, music, or dance. But what actually travels through those things is your presence, your full attention, the genuine belief in the person right in front of you. I teach an introductory course for college freshmen called College Success. And there are weeks I walk in with the perfect lesson, the right questions, the right flow, the right sequence, and I look up and I see a room of young students who are really overwhelmed with the first-time college experience. They're freshmen, it's a lot, and the lesson, at least the way I prepared it, is not actually what they need. So I put it down, I sit down, and I ask 2 questions. How are you doing? And what are you learning so far? That's it. No performance, no plan, just full attention to the people in front of me. That's the whole mechanic. Put the plan down. Get genuinely curious about the person in front of you. Here's what I love about the bards most though. Even within the class, even among bards, there's no one way to actually do this because a bard actually chooses a college, and that's where things get really interesting. In D&D, bards choose a school of thought, a philosophy on how they want to use their gifts. And each college is basically a completely different answer to the exact same question. How do you lead with what you carry? The College of Lore. These bards collect knowledge from everywhere. Scholarly tomes, peasant tales, mystical rites. They gather in libraries and universities, but also at festivals and affairs of state where they challenge corruption and speak truth to power. This is the bard who leads by knowing things that others don't and are willing to say them out loud even when it's uncomfortable. And then there's the College of Valor. They take their gifts into battle, into hard rooms. They show up where it's hardest and they bring the party with them. This is often the bard who leads from the front. Then there's the College of Glamour. Leads through presence and atmosphere, walks into a room and the room changes before even a single word is spoken. Then there's the College of Dance, the newest college, the most instinctive. It reads what's happening in real time and responds. It leads through adaptation rather than executing a plan that stopped fitting the situation 3 moves ago. Each one of these could be its own video, each one its own leadership identity, and honestly, I can't wait to dig into all of them. But right now, I want to know, which one hits different for you? Tell me your favorite bard college down in the comments. Because I guarantee one of those felt like someone finally naming something you've been doing your entire life. The bard didn't start as a bard. They started as a fighter, then a thief, then a student under someone who recognized what they were becoming. They carried everything they learned through every version of themselves, and eventually became the person whose presence made everyone around them more capable. That path in your life that felt like wandering, that was the training. You didn't end up here by accident. You were always becoming like this. Lead like a bard.